Ay, ay, la, 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 la. Ay, ay, la, la, la. It's okay to clap your hands. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom, Bruchim Havaim, hello and welcome to the B'nai Mitzvah of Sebastian Gebler and Dahlia Springer. My name is Rabbi Sarah Jocelyn Paris, and on behalf of myself and Cantor Arik Luck, we are overjoyed to welcome you to this simcha. Today we will be calling not one, but two incredible individuals to the Torah, Israel ben Aaron Hirsch and Dahlia, who is about to receive her Hebrew name in just a moment. We know that there are many loved ones who unfortunately could not join us in person, but are with us on the live stream that we want to make sure to draw attention to. So if everyone could turn and wave at the camera to say hi to the relatives. We know that from the Stringer family, there are individuals streaming in from New Jersey, New York, Canada, and Cape Cod, and that from the Geblers, we have an international affair from Denmark, London, Washington, D.C., Virginia, New York, and Israel. We can feel your love with us this morning in the sanctuary. Part of becoming a B'nai Mitzvah is being called to the Torah with a Hebrew name. And Dahlia does not yet have a formal Hebrew name. So to begin our service today, we are going to present Dahlia with a Hebrew name that she selected for herself. Dahlia, can you tell us a little bit about the name you've picked?
I chose the Hebrew name Adva Bina. Adva means small wave or ripple, and Bina means wisdom. I chose Adva because I love the ocean and surfing. I chose it also because my grandpa was named Arthur and it represents him. Bina represents my other grandpa, Bernie. He's so wise and I love him so much. I feel like this name really suits me and I really love it.
So from today on forward, Dahlia in the Jewish people will be known as Adva Bina Bat Alana Veluis, and I'm going to ask her two parents to come up to wrap her in the talit and formally give her her Hebrew name. We come together to welcome this young woman into the covenant of our father Abraham and our mother Sarah. God said, "I will maintain my covenant between me and you and your offspring to come as an everlasting covenant throughout the ages, to be God to you and your offspring to come." The talit is an embracing symbol of the covenant between God and the Jewish people, and we were reminded of the mitzvot by the tzitzit on its corners. Today, we envelope this young woman into the folds of a talis as a symbol of her entry into the covenant with God and Klal Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of the universe, who is mindful of the covenant through being wrapped inside a garment with tzitzit. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zocher habrit va'atifa batzitzit. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, kayamat hayalda hazot vayikra shema b'Yisrael, Adva Bina bat Ilana Veluis. Our God, God of our mothers and our fathers, sustain this young woman through her parents and all of her family and friends' loving care, and from this day forward, let her be known among our people Israel by the name Adva Bina, daughter of Ilana and Louis. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Just a few moments ago, you also may have noticed that Sebastian was himself wrapped in a talit. This is a talit with a long history in his family. It was worn by his dad, Adam, at his bar mitzvah, in addition to his uncle, Stephen, and his cousin, Charlie, have all become bar mitzvah in this talit. We are going to be beginning our service today using the blue numbers in brackets in our prayer book. So I'm going to be calling everything that's in the navy blue numbers. We're going to get started on page 192 with Ma Tovu.
The numbers are quite confusing, and we apologize for that. You see, there's two sets of numbers. So as Rabbi Paris said, we're going to be using the numbers today that are inside those brackets. Navy blue, page 192.
Together, we just praised God for our beautiful sanctuary that we are in this morning. And before we continue our service, we're going to take a moment to thank God for the miracle of our bodies that sustain us every single day. We're going to read together on page 195 at the top. Please join with me. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofech basar umafli la'asot. We continue with Elohai Neshama on page 196. Again, still in those bracketed numbers, so just flip one page.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. אתה בראתה, אתה יצרת, אתה נבחת בי, ואתה משמרה, משמרה בקרבי. אלוהי, אלוהי, נשמה, שנתת בי טהורה היא.
We continue on page 201. I'm going to invite up Sebastian's grandmother, Susan Gebler, to read for us at the top of the page.
As I awaken, let this be my thought. May my day be filled with acts of loving kindness. Let me be drawn to learning and discernment. Keep me from disgrace and sin. May I not be overwhelmed by temptation and despair. Distance me from evil people and fake friends. Let me cultivate a life of goodness. May my hands reach out in kindness, and I will serve God through acts of righteousness. Today and every day, may I merit your mercy, living my life with compassion and love. Holy One of blessing, draw me to your words. Teach me the art of sacred living.
Thank you. We are going to continue on page 204. Dahlia and Sebastian are going to be teaching us all about their Torah portion and reading from the Torah later this morning. And there's a special blessing that we say before we study the Torah. So Sebastian and Dahlia, please lead us in the blessing at the top of page 204 for before Torah study.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Amen. And if you couldn't tell, these two have a long history together, specifically in this building, so it is really beautiful that they are getting called to the Torah together. We know that they've grown up parallel to each other for many, many years. We are going to continue with the Psalm for Shabbat on page 214.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמחה עליון, ולזמר לשמחה עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמחה עליון, ולזמר לשמחה עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי התורה, עלי נערב, עלי היגיון ותכנון.
page 218 with Psalm 150, the Hallelujah, beginning a meditative section of our service where we're going to take some moments for reflection and our own individual praise of God. You may recognize the melody that we are about to use by Leonard Cohen.
Emanu-El bekodsho, Hallelujah birki hauzo, Hallelujah begurota, Hallelujah kerovudlo, Hallelujah beteka shofar, Hallelujah b'nebel v'kinon, Hallelujah, 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 b'minim v'yugam, Hallelujah, b'tzitzlei shama, Hallelujah, b'tzitzlei truah, Hallelujah, b'tzitzlei truah, kol anshama tehallel, kol anshama tehallel. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
We are going to be continuing with another more meditative psalm, speaking about the many ways that we can praise and exalt God's name. Flip to page 222. Cantor Luck is going to be leading us in the middle of the page in Shochen Ad Marom V'Kadosh Shemo. O God, your name is holy and exalted.
Nefi sharim titala uvdibrei tzadikim titbarach titbarach shochen ad marum lekadosh shemo shochen ad marum lekadosh shemo ulilshon chasidim Yisromam Yisromam Udekerem Kedoshim
continue with the Barhu, our formal call to prayer on page 226. Please rise and join with us.
Hi, lai, lai, hi, lai, lai, lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, lai, hi, lai, lai, lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai.
Continue in English at the top of page 229. Please join with me. In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteous, a promise that your light would become the catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have to cast light into dark waters and draw out justice and truth. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of all the heavenly sources of light. We continue on page 230 with Ahava Rabbah, speaking about the great love between God and the Jewish people.
Ahava Rabbah Tanu Adonai Eloheinu Amauta Hallelu V'amura Votenu V'imotenu Shabbat Kovecha Shabbat Kovecha Shabbat אל פועל ישועתה טובה ובקעת, כי נתן שלך קדוש על באמת, להודות לך יחיך באהבה. ברוך אתה, אדוני, הבוחר במו ישראל, באהבה.
We are going to continue with the Shema on page 232, reaffirming our faith in God. Please rise as Sebastian and Dahlia lead us in the Shema, followed by the Via Hafta.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated, and then we'll continue with the Via Hafta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושופך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So beautiful to hear both their voices together in harmony leading us this morning. We are going to be continuing with the Micha Mocha on page 240. Again, in those blue bracketed numbers.
Micha Mocha Paelim Adonai, Micha Mocha Netar Bakodesh Norah Seilot Oseh Peleh Norah Seilot Oseh ישראל ופדי חילונך יהויתיו ישראל גואלנו 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 אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל
Dahlia and Sebastian will now be leading us in the Amidah, beginning on page 242. After they lead us in our communal blessings, we'll take some moments for silent prayer and meditation. Adonai Svatai Tiftach Adonai Svatai Tiftach Ufti Agid
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasevot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihen Leman Shemo Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah, rav lechoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol ve'rachamim ramim. Somech noflim ve'rofei olim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al giverot, u'midom elam. Melech memit u'mechaye, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lechachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה לזה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלכות כל הארץ, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ונגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please take a few moments for silent prayer and meditation. When you've finished your prayer, you may be seated. of our service today where we are going to be calling Israel ben Aaron Hirsch and Adva Bina bat Ilana ben Lewis to the Torah as B'nai Mitzvah for the very first time. Our Torah service begins on page 364. At this time, I'm going to invite some people to come help us out to start our Torah service. To open our ark, I'm going to invite up Josie Stringer, Dahlia's younger sister, and Shelly Marino. Please head all the way up to open the ark. And I'm also going to invite Lon Given Chapman, who turns out is a friend of both families we discovered at the rehearsal, who will be carrying one of our Torahs this morning. After we remove the Torah from the ark, we are going to physically and metaphorically pass it to Dahlia and Sebastian, which means I'm going to need some of their close friends and family to line up to be a part of that chain of tradition. From Dahlia's family on this side, please join us. We have Sylvia Stringer, who is grandma, standing in for her grandparents, Janet and Bernie Bober, who are in New Jersey. We have Julie Mason, who is a close family friend and pseudo-aunt, standing in for Dahlia's aunt, Sarah, who we know is cheering her on from New York, as well as her parents, Alana and Louis. And on Sebastian's side, we have great-aunt Frida Fisher, cousins Beth and Mindy Fisher, and standing in for Charlie Levy-Bernstein, Justin Egber, Aaron Egber, Ria Yoshida, and Aya Yoshida, who are our dear family friends, Jen Leitzis, Jackie Leitzis, Josie Hober, and Juliette Hober, as well as his dad, Adam Gebler. Please rise and join us on page 364 as we remove the Torah from the ark.
Av harachamim heitiva v'tunecha et Zion hivnei chovot Yerushalayim hivnei chomot Yerushalayim ki lechol levad v'tachnu melech el ram v'nisa Adon olamim ki mitzion tetzei Torah ki mitzion tetzei Torah udevar Adonai mirushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Baruch shenatan Torah Torah le'amo Yisrael
Sebastian and Dahlia are going to lead us on page 366.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai, Tziyun Romema, Shemo Yachtav. Lecha Adonai Hagedola v'Hagevura v'Hatiferet Hanetzach v'Hahod Yichol v'Shamayim u'Vaaretz Yichol v'Shamayim u'Vaaretz Lecha Adonai Hamamlecha v'Hamitnaseh Lechol Erosh Yisrael, Yisrael, v'oraita chanehu. Yisrael, Yisrael, v'oraita chanehu. Ora, 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 hallelujah. Ora, 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 hallelujah, hallelujah. Ora, 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 hallelujah. Ora, 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 hallelujah. Yisrael, Yisrael, ve'oraita chanehu. Yisrael, Yisrael, ve'oraita chanehu. Ora, 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 hallelujah. Ora, 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 hallelujah.
This morning, Sebastian and Dahlia will both be reading from the Torah portion Miketz, which is in the book of Genesis. They will also both be teaching us all about it after they read from the Torah. We are going to be calling up Sebastian to read 3 aliyot from the Torah first, followed by Dahlia. Sebastian is going to be reading Genesis chapter 41, verses 17 through 24. For the honor of the first aliyah, I invite up Sebastian's aunt, Marcia Levy. Ta'amod malchanechi la'aliyah rishona.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen, amen. Vaydaber paro el Yosef, b'chalomihi hineni omehed al sifat hayeor, v'hineh min hayeor o lot sheva parot buriot basahar vifot toar. Bachir Eina Ba'achu Vehine Sheheva Shiboli Varot Acherot Ta'olot Ha'acherot Dalot Veraot Toar Me'od Verakot Basar Lo ra'iti chachehena bechol eretz Mitzrayim la'roa.
Baruch hu et
Baruch atah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Baruch atah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu toret emet, v'chayel alam nata batochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. For the honor of the second Aliyah, I call up Sebastian's father, Adam Gebler, to stand beside his son. Ya'amod, Aaron Hirsch ben Israel, Aliyah Shenit.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'tochalna haparot, hadakot, v'haraot, et sheva haparot, harishonot habariot. V'tavona el kirbehena, velo noda kiva'u el kirbena, umarehen ra kasher batehila va'ikas.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'yachan lanu nota betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
And we are now going to call both of Sebastian's parents to join him on the bima as he blesses and reads from the Torah for the very first time as a bar mitzvah. You can stand on either side of your son, beaming with pride as he is about to become bar mitzvah.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Barak Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
As he finds his place, he was a little eager on the blessing, but I want to formally call him
Found
out. Ya'amod, Israel ben Aaron Hirsch, Aliyah bar mitzvah, and now he'll read from the Torah.
Va'ere b'chalomi v'hineh sheva shibolihim olohot v'kaneh echad meleot v'tovot. V'hine sheva shibolihim tsenumot dakot shudufot kadim tzomchot acharehem. Vativ lana hashibolihim hadakot et sheva hashibolihim hadavot. Va'omar el chartumim ve'ein magid lihi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nota betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach, Sebastian.
Great.
As we transition from Sebastian reading the Torah to calling up Dahlia, we're going to take a moment to send prayers of healing and of hope to those in our midst and on our minds who are in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. This morning, we are especially sending healing prayers to Janet Bober, Stephen Gedula, and Sebastian's grandfather, Paul Bach. If there's anyone else that you would like to send healing prayers to this morning, please do so now. Share their name with us. Misha Berach Avotenu V'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sar Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yavarech Et HaCholim Ha'eleh. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are in need of healing. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and of spirit, and let us say,
Amen.
Dahlia will be continuing in the book of Genesis, chapter 41, right where Sebastian left off. She'll be reading verses 25 through 32. And for the Aliyah, the honor of her first Aliyah, I call up Lon Given Chapman, who carried the Torah so expertly for us, to bless the Torah. Ya'amod, Lev Natan ben Yehuda v'Avigail Aliyah Revi'it.
Baruch hu Adonai habarah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai habarach le'am va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayomer Yosef el Paro, Chalom Paro, Ehad hu, et asher ha'Elohim oseh higi lefaro. Sheva Paro hatovot, Sheva shanim heina, V'sheva hashibolim hatovot, Sheva shanim heina, halom ehad hu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
For Dahlia's second Aliyah, I invite up her mom, Ilana Vober, to join her on the bima. Ta'amod, Ilana Batya, Aliyah Hamishit.
Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. V'sheva haparot, harekot v'harot, ha'ulot aharehen. Sheva shanim heina, v'sheva hashibolim, harekot sedufot, hakadim. Yehiyu Sheva Shanei Ra'av. Hu Hadafar Asher Dibarti El Paro. Asher HaElohim Oseh Hara et Paro. It's on this side.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to invite Dad to join us on the bima, so that Mom and Dad can proudly stand on either side of Dahlia as she herself is called to the Torah with her new Hebrew name. Ta'amod, Adva Bina bat Ilana Veluis La'aliyah bat Mitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Hine Sheva shanim ba'ot, Sheva gadol b'chol eretz Mitzrayim. V'kamu Sheva shanei ra'av aharehen, v'nishkach kol hasava be'eretz Mitzrayim. V'hila hara'av et ha'am. Asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tohenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasher Koach, Sebastian and Dahlia. We are now going to lift and dress the Torah. For the honor of lifting the Torah, I call up Marty Leitzis. And to help with dressing the Torah, Sue Ellen Stringer High, Elizabeth Stringer, Frank Marino, and Pauline Leitzis. Please rise and join us on page 370.
Who's lifting? Is anybody actually lifting? Or am I lifting? Okay. Have you ever done it before? Okay. So, first, listen, we gotta do this. Don't try to deadlift. Now use this as a lever. Okay. Turn around.
V'zot haTorah she'sa Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Alalai lai 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 alalai lai 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 ai lai 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 ai lai 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 ai 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 lai lai ai ai lai 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 ai lai 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 ai lai 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 ai lai 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 ai lai 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 ai lai 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 ai ai lai 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 la 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 ay ay la 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 ay la 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 ay la 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 ay la 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 ay la 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 ay la 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 ay la 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 ay la 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 ay la 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 ay ay la 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 la. You may be seated.
Sebastian and Dahlia will now be reading from the Haftorah, tag teaming with each other. I'm going to first invite up Sebastian to introduce the Haftorah portion for us, and then read from it in Hebrew. Then Dahlia will be reading the portion in English. Sebastian will be reading from the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, beginning with verse 5.
In my Haftarah, Solomon has a dream, and in the dream there are 7 golden lamps and 7 pipes, which is very similar to Pharaoh's dream. In my Haftarah, an angel helps Solomon interpret what his dream means, similar to what Joseph did. Vaya.
Not yet.
Oops, sorry. My bad.
First we're doing the
Blessings first.
blessing.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. We love you.
You know it so well, that's why.
Baruch, go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar binvim tovim varatza v'divrehem ha'enemarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai Haboher Batorah Umosher Avdo Yisrael Amo Uvinviei Ha'emet V'Tzedek.
Vayan Amala Hadober Bi Vayomer Elai Elo Yadata Mahema Ele Vaomar Lo Adoni.
The angel who talked with me came back and woke me as a man is waking from sleep. He said to me, "What do you see?" And I answered, "I see a lampstand all of gold with a bow above it. The lampstand on it are 7 in numbers, and the lampstand above it has 7 pipes, and by it are 2 olive trees, one on the right of the bowl and one on the left." I in turn asked the angel who talked to me, "What do you see these things mean, my Lord?" "Do you not know what those things mean?" asked the angel who talked with me, and I said, "No, my Lord." Then he explained to me the following: "This is the word of the Lord of Zerubbabel, not by might or not by power, but my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Whoever you are, O great mountain of the path of Zerubbabel, turn into level ground, for he shall produce what excellent stone it shall be greeted with shouts of beautiful, beautiful."
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Tzur Kol HaOlamim Tzadik Bechol Hadorot Ha'el HaNe'eman HaOmer Ve'oseh HaMedaber U'Mekayem Shekol Devarav Emet V'Tzedek Al HaTorah Ve'al HaAvodah Ve'al HaNevi'im Ve'al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha velimnuha lechavod uletifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umevarechim otach yitbrach shimcha v'fi chol chai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
All right. Now, Dahlia and Sebastian have both prepared Divrei Torah to teach us all about their Torah portion, Miketz. First, Dahlia is going to teach us about her Torah portion and then dedicate her bat mitzvah to someone. And after she finishes, Sebastian will do the same.
My Torah portion is Miketz. In the beginning, Pharaoh has a dream. He does not know what to make of it, so he asks all the soothsayers to tell him what it means, but no one can satisfy him and tell him what it means. Finally, he finds Joseph, who had just interpreted sheep cupbearers and sheep bakers' dreams. Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams and says that there will be 7 years of farming and there will be 7 bad years too. Pharaoh is so happy that Joseph interpreted his dreams that he makes Joseph second in command. He gives Joseph a wife and good clothes and tells Joseph to travel through Egypt. One thing that I wonder about my Torah portion is why God chose Joseph to interpret dreams for Pharaoh. Was he just born to be able to do it, or did he learn as he got older? According to rabbis, other people who tried to interpret Pharaoh's dreams, didn't approach the task the right way. They tried to use old methods and didn't listen carefully. In contrast, Joseph listened very carefully to the dream and was able to understand the emotion in the words because of how he listened. Because he listened so carefully, he was able to piece together that Joseph's two different dreams were actually related and telling the same story. In addition to listening carefully, Joseph was also able to ask Pharaoh was also able to help Pharaoh because he didn't just explain the dream, he helped Pharaoh make a plan of how to take action and save his people. Joseph really cared a lot about the plan working and people being saved, so he didn't make others do the work for him. He rolled up his sleeves and did the work himself. I mostly agree with the rabbis. I definitely think Joseph is a good, caring person. He seems like he's really grateful and happy for his life. Joseph is really good at listening and taking the time to hear what others are saying, and that makes him good at interpreting dreams. I think we can all learn a few things from Joseph. One is that if you listen and take the time, you can better support those around you. If you don't listen carefully, you won't hear what others are saying and you'll miss stuff. Two is if you do the hard work, you can help other people around you. I think these things are super important and really helpful, and I hope we can all learn from Joseph. Now, my Holocaust memory child. I really want to celebrate and remember Maya Shigriam because she didn't have the opportunity to have a bat mitzvah. It wasn't fair for what happened to her, and she probably really wanted to have one. To me, it's super sad that this happened. Having a bat mitzvah is a really big point in my life, and it should have also been for Maya. I also really want to celebrate Maya because when my mom had her bat mitzvah, part of it was for a girl in Russia who couldn't have her bat mitzvah. I think this is really meaningful and cool that I could also do this.
Thank you so much, Dahlia. Sebastian, now please join us on the bima to give your Devar Torah and your bar mitzvah dedication.
My Torah portion is Makades from the book of Genesis. In my Torah portion, Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams. He says that there will be 7 years of prosperity and 7 years of famine. Because he interprets Pharaoh's dreams correctly, Pharaoh puts Joseph in charge of collecting food. When the famine hits, Joseph's family comes to seek out food from Joseph, and Joseph accuses them of being spies to test them. They then return to Canaan. For my Devar Torah, I decided to focus on Joseph interpreting dreams. This was really interesting to me because if you have the power to understand and interpret dreams, then in a way you have the power to predict the future, just like Joseph did. He was able to save a lot of people by correctly interpreting Pharaoh's dreams, including his own family. The Hebrew word is tishma, but it doesn't only mean to hear. It also means to comprehend or understand. Just like in the prayer Shema, we don't only hear God's teachings, but we also need to understand them. According to the rabbis, this meant that Joseph not only heard Pharaoh's dreams, but he also comprehended them and was able to figure out what their meaning and predicted their future famine. Other people who tried to interpret Pharaoh's dreams didn't actually listen and understand if Pharaoh described them, which is why they couldn't properly interpret or understand his dreams. It was extra important that Joseph took this step to listen to Pharaoh so he could take action and save many people from hunger during the famine. We can learn from Joseph's example by understanding that more often than not, small things in life will become more important. Oftentimes in movies or TV shows, we are shown small details that seem unimportant at first. However, usually in time they become more important and can even help move things forward. This is only characters who listen and observe carefully that are able to see those details, like Joseph did, and take action on them. If we are all more observant, we can help save lives and better care for those around us if we take the time to notice and listen carefully to small yet important details in life. I'm dedicating my bar mitzvah to Emanu-El. He was born in Coenzus, Lithuania in 1935. His mother's name was Rivka and his father's name was Velvel. He died in the Shoah. I think that it is important to think about and dedicate my bar mitzvah to Emanu-El because he did not get a chance to get the honor of getting a bar mitzvah. Those of us that have had a bar or bat mitzvah need to recognize the importance and honor of one.
I am now going to invite up Ilana and Lewis to join us on the bima to bless their daughter with some words of praise. She has done so much today to show off at her bat mitzvah.
Dahlia, your father and I are so proud of you. You did it. Here you are. Here we are, watching you effortlessly chanting, reciting your blessings, and reading your prepared speeches. You worked so hard for so many months. I remember zooming into the introductory bat mitzvah meeting. We were in Bolinas. You had just stepped out of the ocean after an afternoon of surfing. You were wet, shivering, and starving, but there you were, eagerly joining in the conversation, bantering with Rabbi Bauer. You fully chose to partake in this ritual. In fact, you fully chose to pursue your Judaism. Well, technically you were born Jewish, it was not a given in our household that Judaism would be your spiritual path. By stroke of luck, you ended up in a Jewish preschool, and almost immediately you were smitten. You begged to go to Hebrew school. Who does that? And just recently, you chose your Hebrew name, honoring both your grandfathers. And what a fitting name. Adva Bina, you are the wise wave. You have always had a strong will. Your birth was eagerly anticipated by so many, but you had your own timeline, and it was late, and then very late. And hours before I was to be induced, it was as if I was struck by lightning. You arrived in record time, just inside the hospital, but not quite in the maternity ward. Almost immediately, you were on the move. My father, who is watching at home, hi, Dad, he joked that Dahlia never learned how to walk. Once you pushed yourself up to standing at 10 months, you were running. And luckily for us, you learned this skill just in time for our wedding, where you walked down the aisle as the ring bearer in our ceremony. Around the age of 4, I took both you and your sister to the pediatrician. The doctor drew a line on the paper on the examination table, and she said, Josie may be sick, so Dahlia, please stay on your side of the line. As the doctor examined Josie, Dahlia looked at the line and slowly pushed her finger right up to the edge. Then she locked eyes with the doctor and crossed the line. The doctor laughed and said, oh boy, that's her personality. You're in for a ride. And those words were so true. I think about them often. You told us who you were from the get-go, and you reminded us along the way. And while this strong will persists in you, as you've grown older, plays out in more complex ways. You've used this strength and focus to manage your dyslexia. You've used it to become an excellent student, to maintain friendships and repair friendships when disagreements arise. And you continue to give your all on a soccer team despite never winning a game. Over time, the delivery has changed. At a young age, we all thought you were bossy, or as the more enlightened would say, empowered. But as you age, the bite has softened, and you use your charm and humor or a simple snap to make your points known. So, on this special day, we get to collectively celebrate this milestone with you. While in reality, it's a gradual transformation, this ceremony serves as a punctuation. You're a transition from child to young adult. You continue to emerge as your own unique person. You've found your love in the ocean on a surfboard. You adore babies and now volunteer with them. And Dahlia is available for babysitting. You are a passionate lover of stories. You're a funny entertainer, a joyous party girl, a loyal friend, an upstander, a loving and devoted family member. And most importantly, you're kind and have a big heart. You are on your very own path, and it's a bright and sunny one. We are so impressed with you and in love with you.
I now invite Adam and Nicola to join their son on the bima to share words of blessing with him. Thank you so much, Alana and Lewis.
Sebastian, you are the only child of only children. Of all things, a California kid from generations of Danes and New Yorkers. You live the busy life of a 13-year-old in today's world. Regular schoolwork, baseball and sailing, designing planes in Minecraft or landing them in your flight simulator, reading the Sunday funnies or about some kind of transportation, and recently taking a leading role in training a very good big dog. You've reached your milestone in the Jewish life, becoming a man in the eyes of this community and joining family members, Justin and Charlie, Uncle Steve, Grandpa Stanley, and Great-Grandpa Murray. It was your commitment to this rite of passage and your measured intensity that sustained you through difficult periods of study. Mixed religion home without a nearby Jewish family to provide normalcy to the process. You put in effort and thoughtfulness required to both chant and understand your prayers and portions. I walked by your room countless times to hear a snippet of Zoom's Hebrew class or tutor session, or you practicing on your own, and marveled at your focus and determination. I also wondered, doesn't Seb have Danish homework? Sebastian's been taking Danish classes for 5 years, requiring many weekend and evening hours of study to keep his Danish language skills at grade level. And we're so proud of how you prepared for this day, and also how you continually give your whole self to learning about both your Jewish and Danish identities, without sacrificing depth or interfering with your many innovative projects. It's exciting to ponder your next chapter, Seb. We hope you will draw strength from lessons learned in classrooms, from navigating interpersonal dynamics, and from your keen sense of observation. And we look forward to sharing your beautiful qualities with the world, your trustworthy, your sense of justice, your ability to see issues from multiple perspectives, and your increasingly sharp sense of humor. You are light, Sebastian. We love you.
And last but certainly not least, I invite both Sebastian and Dahlia back to the bima to share their thank yous. Both of you have thank yous. I think you have thank yous. We can start with Dahlia and then go right into Sebastian.
It's this one. They're the same. I also really want to take the time to thank all the people that have helped support me through the last few years. You have all helped me through so much and put up with all my procrastinating and drama. Thank you to the best Hebrew tutors, Carolyn Hutchinson and Anna Weiner. Thank you, Cantor Luck, for being so patient with me. Next, I really want to thank Rabbi Sarah Paris. Every time I see you on Zoom, you are so excited and joyful. You always make me feel so welcome and loved. Finally, I'm thanking Sebastian. You are such a great friend. You're one of those people I know I'll have fun with anywhere. Whenever we see each other after it's been a while, I remember how much fun we have and how much I love being around you. This would have been a totally different experience without any of you here. You have all made it so special in your own way. Thank you for coming and being here for such an amazing time in my life.
I'd like to thank my parents because they've been super supportive, helpful, and kind throughout the whole process. In tough moments, they helped me through it. I'd also like to thank Dahlia because she has been an awesome friend since preschool and letting us do our B'nai Mitzvah together. Sometimes I've not been the nicest. I'd like to thank Carolyn, Rabbi Paris, and Cantor Luck for their support and guidance through the whole process. I'd like to thank the rest of my family, too, because they've always been there and had my back for the whole life, and now they've stepped up and to also help even more now. I'm also thankful that my family could come, even though it has been a long journey for some. My friends have been really awesome and support the whole time and just have been generally great friends. I'd also like to thank the YFE team for all the years of Hebrew school, and that has really helped me in the last few months. And finally, although he's not here right now, I'd like to thank my dog, Hudson, because he's been there for me to love, and he's been my little emotional support animal. Although he wasn't that little, he's like 55 pounds and he's 7 months.
The puppy's been an integral part of Bar Mitzvah prep. He did not exist before the Bar Mitzvah prep began, and is now a huge and growing part of the family, we know. We are going to now rise to return the Torah to the Ark on page 374. Please join with us.
Etz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tom hea me'ushar derahecha dorcheinon v'chol netivoteha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Eleha V'nashuva Kadesh Kadesh Yameinu Kadesh Yameinu
Before we close our ark and begin to end our service this morning, we invite Dahlia and Sebastian to, in front of the ark, go ahead and face the Torah. And Cantor Luck and I are going to bless you with 3 ancient blessings that have been bestowed upon B'nai Mitzvah students and married couples and babies for centuries and centuries.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
Dahlia and Sebastian, may God always bless you and protect you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God always show God's presence to you and be gracious to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
May you always find godliness in yourselves and in others, and may you always be blessed with peace and fulfillment. And together we say, Amen.
Amen. We remain standing for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו גילויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Before we conclude our service this morning, we take a moment to remember those who have come before us who are no longer with us physically today, but who have had a huge impact on getting Dahlia and Sebastian and their families to this moment. This morning, we are especially remembering Ethel and Murray Bernstein, Stephen Bernstein, Stanley Gebler, Jenny Doyle, Kara Roel, Michelle Schlitten, Grandpa Arthur Stringer, Great Aunt Tippy, Great Uncle Arthur Goldberg, and Great Aunt Helen and Uncle Herb Saravanamutu. If there is someone else who's on your mind this morning, who's no longer with us, and you would like to share their name with our community, please do so as my eyes meet yours. We join together for the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598 in those blue numbers. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudasha b'rechu. Le'ela min chol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
At this time, I would like to invite Sebastian and Dahlia's parents to come up to the bima with your mask on, but please come up and stand on either side of your children. And everybody else, if you're still holding your prayer book, you're not going to leave it there. You are going to take it back with you eventually. But for now, I want you to close it, put it in a little cubby in front of you, or put it on the chair behind you. And as long as you are potted with the person next to you, as long as the person next to you is cool with it, find that person's shoulder with your arm. And together as one kehillah, as one sacred community, we will pray for peace together with Dahlia and Sebastian and family.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru, amen. Yalalai, 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 oh yalalai, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru,
On behalf of Cantor Luck and the entire clergy team, I am honored to present Dahlia and Sebastian with their Tanakh and their official certificates of Bar and Bat Mitzvah. It's got stuff on the other side, it's just in backwards. If you would like to shower your friends with a little bit of sweetness, Josie's going to be standing in the center with these baskets to pass out some candy to shower your friends in. You can come stand right in the center, Josie. And if you would like to participate in come on up and join Josie, grab some from the baskets.
But you're not going to throw it yet.
I will tell you when to throw it.
And kiddos, grab your kiddish cups.
I would say grab the kiddish cups that are right in front of you. And after they lead the kiddush, the Vishamru and the kiddush, you're going to shower them in a little bit of sugar to congratulate them on doing such a great job this morning.
And are you open to Vishamru, Sebastian and Dahlia? What page is it, Rabbi?
It does not say.
We got it. Yeah, we got it. It's fine.
You got it.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidor et ha-Brit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidor et ha-Brit olam.
Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam.
Oti le'olam.
Asa Adonai
את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לתורתם בעולם.
וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש
שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לתורתם בעולם.
Al Kain Baruch Adonai Yom HaShabbat Vayikadeshehu Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam Borei pari hagafen.
Amen. You can take a sip. On the count of shalosh, everyone is going to throw their candy. And then, this is very important. First of all, we're not normally this close. I want you to throw it up. Nobody is pelting anybody. I see you kids like this. Absolutely not happening.
Yeah, they want to hurt us.
They want to hurt us.
If you want us to
especially
keep
that guy
doing
right there.
candy every week, you got to follow the rules. Otherwise, there won't be any more candy at bar mitzvahs.
Yeah.
So throw it up and nicely. And then it's really important that you do collect the candy because we don't want our maintenance staff to have to do it. Lastly, unfortunately, you can't eat it in here because of COVID. Got to wait till you're outside and able to take your mask off. That is when you will eat it. Finally, when you come up here to get the candy, please don't trip on this cord. I want all the kids to still be. Okay, Sebastian and Dahlia,
All right,
pick up that
all of our
challah.
friends
We're
can
not
head
done
back
yet.
to their seats.
We are
We're
not
gonna
done
do
yet.
the
We got to
motzi
say that
quickly.
blessing. Kids, go back to your seats.
Head back to your seats. You're going to get to congratulate them in just a second.
Lift
Dahlia,
up that
can you lift the challah cover?
Take the cover off.
And then take the cover off.
And as
then
soon as
hold
we're
it
done,
up
you got to put
high.
your mask back on. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for joining us to celebrate.